Hello and welcome to The Good Life. I'm Gwen Wilson.
And I'm Pete Gatwood, and we have a great show for you this month. Coming up later in the show, we'll be visiting the largest men's shed in Australia at Buderim. And we'll also be catching up with the Illawarra Honeybees, a group of ladies who are quite happy to sting you for your money in the name of raising much needed funds for cancer.
We'll also be sitting down to chat with a pair of world travellers, Andrew and Libby, to get their hints and tips for travelling as you get older.
And we'll be learning to cook lamb koftas from scratch on the barbie. But first, let's take a look at the big news stories affecting over 55s this month.
On September 14th, Malcolm Turnbull was elected as leader of the Liberal Party and Prime Minister of Australia after successfully challenging Tony Abbott's leadership. This has led to changes to the social services and health portfolios, which aged care industry leaders hope will have positive impacts for the industry. Turnbull's cabinet reshuffle has seen the appointment of a new Minister for Aged Care, Susan Ley, and a new Assistant Minister for Aged Care, Ken Wyatt. Appointing dedicated ministers to aged care demonstrates the importance of the portfolio to the Turnbull government as it seeks to adapt to Australia's growing ageing population. In opening a recent aged care industry event, Assistant Minister Wyatt confirmed the government would continue the aged care reforms commenced by the Abbott government and expected a reform roadmap to be completed by the year's end. At 11 a.m. on the 11th of November 1918, the guns of the Western Front fell silent after more than 4 years of continuous warfare. November 11th each year now marks Remembrance Day, a day of reflection and commemoration of all Australians who have died as a result of war. Retired Brigadier Philip McNamara, who was a soldier for 35 years, including as Commander of the Special Forces, spoke to us about his experiences and how the changing environment of today's warfare impacts Remembrance Day.
On Remembrance Day for me, it's all about remembering, and I will normally attend. I often get invited to give addresses. Our son has been involved in Afghanistan, and in his involvement in Afghanistan, there have been close to him 5 soldiers who have lost their lives, and I always like to remember them. But yeah, I think Remembrance Day, like Anzac Day, is a very important day for people just to remember that these people have gone out there and for the country and for the nation, they've put their lives on the line and they've been asked to pay, and we should just take the time at the 11th hour of the 11th day to remember that.
This year, Australia will welcome Prince Charles and his wife Camilla to commemorate Remembrance Day in Canberra. During their 5-day visit from November 10th, their Royal Highnesses will visit Adelaide, Tanunda, Canberra, Sydney, Albany and Perth. As more baby boomers start to retire, the Property Council of Australia predicts demand for housing in retirement communities will double by 2025, requiring an additional 200,000 homes to be built in just 10 years. Research shows only 5% of Australians want to live in retirement communities, suggesting we will also need to invest in other types of affordable seniors housing. Supporting seniors to live longer in their family homes or consider share housing with other seniors or young people are other options gaining momentum. Last month, industry leaders met in Wollongong to discuss the seniors housing model of the future and the innovative services like personal care robots that will help support seniors in the future.
Older Australians actually want to choose where they live, and they also want to choose the services that they get. They want control and they want to be understood for who they are. Older Australians aren't homogenous, and we need to provide solutions that are tailored to them, not just a blanket solution.
We have to think about how we can reuse space, how we can smart out space, keep people close to the people they love, the areas they know, the facilities they can access, the transport and other parts of infrastructure. So that's really important as well.
It's senior Australians themselves who are driving these alternative housing models and services by boycotting traditional nursing homes and demanding more independence and choice. With Australia's over 65s population expected to hit 5 million by 2030, housing them will continue to be a priority for industry and government.
Thanks, Gwen. This month, of course, is Movember, and once again, men around Australia will be growing a glorious mo to raise awareness for a range of issues regarding men's health.
So are you thinking of growing one, Pete?
I've thought about it, but probably not. I've tried it before. I sneezed for a month, but I will be donating some money to Movember, that's for sure.
Oh, that's great. And with men's health in mind, let's move on to Buderim's men's shed on the Sunshine Coast. We sent Cheryl Hull to ask them about the benefits and importance of places for men to interact with other men as they get older.
Men's sheds are a great way for older men to find a place to socialise, participate and give back to their community. Today we're at Buderim's men's shed on the Sunshine Coast. It's the largest in Australia with over 240 members. Here every day of the week you'll find men from all walks of life getting together to work on projects, learn new skills or just enjoy good old-fashioned mateship over a cuppa. What is the men's shed at Buderim?
The men's shed at Buderim is a group of men who basically have time on their hands. So these are people who want to either to build things, to learn to make things, or just to have a social interaction. The numbers vary between 200 to 300 depending on the time of year. We're very fortunate having so many members. We have people from all different backgrounds, from high-level managerial or company ownership right down to people who have just labouring.
Yep.
It doesn't make any difference when they come here. They're all equal.
My wife and I were looking at retirement. We moved out of the big family house, went into a unit, and then all of a sudden I had nowhere to tinker and do stuff. And my wife has got a bit of a part-time job, so I was a bit on my own, and men's shed was just the answer for me. It allowed me to come down and be able to do some tinkering, be with some other guys and sit and chat and pass the time, so it was a great outcome for me.
We're fortunate because we have people who have skills in all different areas, and we have people who want to learn. We had a guy the other day that had never grown anything in his life, and he was really excited to come along to the gardening group and actually plant a seed, and a couple of weeks later to see this sprout. He'd never done that in his life.
I want to know what we're making here.
We're making a belt, love, a leather belt,
Right.
country style.
Right.
Horses,
With a horse
you
head.
name it.
Right.
Buckets, broths, you name it, we're doing.
And this is all done by hand.
It's all everything's done by hand here, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no machines here. We're the machine.
Oh, great machine. Great machine. So you don't just make belts, you make other things?
Oh yeah, they make all different things here, mate.
Right.
You name it, they make it.
How long does it take you to make this?
Oh, about 2 to 3 weeks. It depends on, how fast you go and what sort of design you want to make and all that sort of thing.
The current project is, in the health and wellbeing framework, is the physical health. I've put in place, alongside with the help of my committee, a men's health circuit training program.
Wow.
Which is age and gender specific to address the issues that men have as they age. Providing a program that they can, not must, but can join in, and we challenge them. And we challenge them, if they keep coming frequently enough, they will train, they will build muscle mass, and they will build new physical skills they haven't had for a while. So we may not be able to compete for Olympic medals, but we can certainly get them active. I take great pride in it being a safe space for men. Not safe just from workplace health and safety, but safe to be the bloke they want to be.
The motto of the Men's Shed Association is that men talk shoulder to shoulder.
I like that motto.
And that's really the way it works. And when you're actually doing something with a hammer in your hand, you start talking to people and finding out where they come from.
That's wonderful.
Welcome back to The Good Life. We're joined now by Andrew and Libby Gray. Welcome, Andrew. Welcome, Libby.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Great. You two are very well travelled. Tell us about your most recent trip.
Well, it was a combination of a small ship cruise from Venice over to Dubrovnik, down the Dalmatian coast, Croatia, Greek islands, Greece itself, over to the west coast of Turkey, up the coast of Turkey, finished in Istanbul, and then a 2-week land-based tour of Turkey, finishing back in Istanbul again.
Wow, it sounds incredible.
6 weeks. It's good. Great.
So
Got back about 3 weeks ago.
Right. So what do you like about travelling?
We just love the experience of getting away, seeing all the wonderful sights, meeting people, eating different food.
And appreciating different cultures.
Yeah, different cultures.
So you've obviously travelled a lot. So how extensively, I mean, like how far have you been, or how many countries have you visited, do you know?
Well, yes, we've been to 7 continents, plus the Arctic. How many countries, we haven't added it all up, but quite a few dozen.
Right.
And quite a few more to go.
So do you have a favourite?
Oh, it's really hard. How do you compare the chaos of India with the silence of Antarctica? But yeah, I love Africa.
And
I love the wildlife.
And for me, it'd have to be the national parks in the United States, I think, are pretty up there, but Africa too. Yep.
Right. So has this travelling always been part of your life, or is it something that you've sort of grown into as you've got older? Or tell me about that.
We had a couple of trips when the kids were still living with us. We went to America and Europe, and then probably 10 years ago we went to Africa.
Actually, we went with the landscape photographer Ken Duncan, and that was the start of.
And that the travel bug has hit us since then.
Now, I understand another passion of yours is photography. Can you tell us something, how you got into that, and is that an integral part of each trip you go on?
How I got into it's a long, evolved story, but it basically, like a lot of people, it was when the kids were born, taking photos of them, and then it developed into a passion. I joined Wollongong Camera Club and entered competitions and sort of grew from there. So it's become a real passion, so we combine the two. Travel and photography is a perfect combination, really.
I suppose a lot of people are curious as to about tips for older travellers. So you travelled when you were younger, you're travelling now. What's the difference? Do you find that it's easier or more difficult?
We still think we're 25. That's making a difference. Look, I think the main thing is a couple of tips, would be to travel light. I think that applies no matter what age you are.
Yep.
Take clothes that you can wash out overnight, that dry overnight, don't need ironing.
Yep.
Good, sensible, light shoes, but good grip. And I think it's pretty important too, don't you, to have a day pack.
Be aware of where you are.
Be aware of your surroundings and the culture. But in terms of actual travelling tip, I'd say a day pack that you can put water bottles in, or purses, or what else in that so you've got your hands free to grab hold of things.
Travel doesn't come cheap, but do you think that it's more affordable today than it ever has been?
Oh, definitely. I mean, airfares for a start are so much cheaper now, and really a lot of the good travel packages are pretty good. For example, we couldn't believe how cheap the Insight tour was at Turkey. It was a 2-week land-based tour. I think it was $2,400 each.
Yep.
And that was everything. I mean, I don't know how they did it for that, actually.
Yeah.
So, yes, it is more affordable, for sure.
Just on that, would you recommend that for older travellers? Or would you recommend the getting on and off a bus, or would you recommend doing your own thing? What do you think?
Well, we've done both, haven't we? We've done both. We've done our own thing a lot, particularly in the United States, in England, where it's very easy to get around and everyone speaks English. So we've done our own thing there. But going to a foreign country, certainly something like Insight, all those other companies is a good way to go, because everything's done for you. You just turn up, it's done.
Yeah.
I suppose the thing, doing your own thing, you're on your own time frame. Whereas on a bus tour, you've got your 3 Bs, your bags before breakfast.
Yeah.
Which, some people like to take it a bit more leisurely in the morning.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, look, thanks so much for coming along and being on The Good Life today.
Thank you.
You've been very insightful and very helpful with your information for us, and happy travelling in the future.
Thank you kindly.
Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and out and about doing their part to raise money this Pink Ribbon Day were the Illawarra Honeybees. We sent Good Life correspondent Pat Frensham to chat with them about why they work so hard to get your money.
At some point in our lives, cancer affects everyone in some shape or form, and raising money to support research and help the people affected by this disease can seem like a never-ending challenge. Taking on that challenge with a smile and a laugh are the Illawarra Honeybees, a group of older women staying active in the community by dedicating their time to helping others, and who are, in their own words, a bunch of little old ladies ready to sting you for your money. And stung people in a positive way they have. Since 2004, the Honeybees have raised over $100,000 and are a testament to how many little things can add up to a lot.
The Honeybees are a very special group of ladies. There are 15 of us, and we've been fundraising for breast cancer research for the past 11 years. They are a devoted group. They're all senior SIDS, the youngest being 57, up to our champion salesperson, May, at 95 she is.
This is May, who's the oldest member of the Illawarra Honeybees. Most people would say, is there a time when you're going to slow down? Now, obviously for you, that's not going to happen. I've been listening to you today. So how do you keep going? What drives you?
I don't know. I just do it. I get frustrated when I can't. I'm frustrated now that I can't do the things that I was doing.
And how long have you been with the Honeybees?
Ever since we started.
So the Illawarra Honeybees partner with Cancer Council New South Wales to fund vital research into breast cancer. We know that over 14,000 ladies alone in Australia will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. The Vital Funds, I guess, partner with all other cancer foundations, and we've seen a 17% increase in the 5-year survival rate of breast cancer alone in the last 2 years. The difference the honeybees are making in the community is huge.
And where did the name Honeybees come from?
The Honeybees came from one of our members, one of our senior members, and she said, "We are little old ladies ready to sting you for your money." And that's how we became the Illawarra Honeybees.
Little old ladies does not come to mind when I think of the Illawarra Honeybees, not that group anyway. You obviously have formed very deep friendships. How important is that to the efforts that you go to raising money?
Oh, look, it's extremely important. We all have our different roles. We're all from different walks of life. We're all from different areas in the Illawarra. And we just, as you saw at that meeting, we all sort of come together and do our thing.
How do you raise money?
Well, we do all sorts of things. We've had quilt shows, we've had major raffles, we do pie drives, we have cake stalls, we have stalls at different shopping centres. And one of our major things are our annual bus trips. Mm-hmm. We've got one coming up in December. It's a shopping warehouse trip, which is a lot of fun. Getting 56 ladies on board to spend a lot of money, and we raise a lot of money by those. It's a fun day. We've just hit $100,000 over the 11 years. The first $5,000 we raised went to Wollongong University. The next $20,000 went to the Prince of Wales Foundation in Sydney. And since then we've been donating $25,000 to the Garvan Institute. The Cancer Council actually give us, we ask when we've got the $25,000, who's doing research at the moment, and we get information, 3 or 4 researchers at the Garvan, and we choose. I was very lucky enough to find somebody doing research for young women with breast cancer. And that again, I related that to another lass that I used to teach physical culture to, who was in her 30s, who developed breast cancer, and we actually donated that in her name the last time.
So if somebody wants to come on board, what do they do?
Contact me or the Cancer Council. We're actually under the umbrella of the Cancer Council, but we have our own bank account and we make the choices on where the money is donated to, which is very important to us.
And finally for this month, we go to our cooking segment.
That's right. This month we learned how to make a simple, healthy meal on the barbie. Let's have a look. Hi, I'm Gwen, and this is Ben, the Good Life Chef. And today we're bringing you a cook-up. What are you doing for us today, Ben?
Well, today I'm making some lamb koftas with some Mediterranean grilled vegetables, tossing a bit of garlic and olive oil, topped with a mint yoghurt. Mint yoghurt,
Well, you see, I've bought my Mediterranean necklace with me today, so ready to go the part. Where do we start?
Okay, first of all, we start with some nice lamb, some mince. So just from your local butcher, just ask them to lean it up a little bit so it's not too fatty, but some nice mince. And then we've got a variety of things. So first of all, we'll start with some chopped onion, some chopped mint and some chopped flat parsley. Okay, so I've got a bit of an egg yolk, a whole egg here. So just give it a bit of a mix. Mix that in.
Do you like to get your hands in?
Well, we will soon. So I've got about a tablespoon of tomato paste, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of ground coriander, and a teaspoon of ground cumin. So then I've got some garlic, which I'll just quickly chop up. So, and these are great tools, Gwen.
Yeah.
It makes my life easier, I'll tell you right. So the last item is some breadcrumbs. Now we've got to get into it. So
okay.
The fun bit starts. So basically just get in and give it all a nice big mix. We're pretty much there, so everything's nice and mixed. Just start off with basically a ball, and we just shape it into a sausage type shape. And we'll just feed them on. When you've got them on, then you can shape them.
So they're quite large.
They're quite large, they're a substantial meal. So that's why I say if you're going to do it for an individual serve for a barbecue, they're a good serve. We've got our barbecue going, so it's nice and hot. So we'll just transfer our koftas onto a plate to take across. What I'm going to do is just add a little bit of oil just to start them off, not too much. So just a bit of a drizzle of olive oil.
Right.
Okay. We just start laying them down. That olive oil then just starts the cooking process.
Yes.
And as they heat up, the lamb itself will just release these oils. So we don't want to put too much oil. We don't want to start a barbecue fire. As you start cooking, you can turn it and you can start to see some grill marks.
Yes, looks good.
Okay.
So what vegetables did you have in mind?
So what I've got today is just a mixture of vegetables. So I've got some asparagus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love asparagus.
Some zucchini.
Yep.
Some Spanish onion.
And a squash.
Squash, and I've got a capsicum over here. So
great. And you going to grill these?
Going to grill these. So they're very simple to do. Capsicum, just cutting in nice strips.
It makes such a lovely colourful display, doesn't it? Hard to go past the green, red and yellow.
This is a funny cut I'm going to do, and it's a little bit different. So it's not an angle cut, so it's a bit of a twist.
Okay.
Just a funny shape. A little bit not as uniform. Just nice thick wedges of onion.
Beautiful.
And that's all ready to go, very quick. And there's a little trick that our chefs use to mince the garlic, if you want me to show you.
Yes.
Okay, so we use a flat blade.
Yes.
And we just crush it like that.
Oh, okay.
We're ready to go. We've got nice heat through the barbecue, and we just throw them on. Okay, so a little bit more oil, just for the bits that didn't get some at the bottom. Some pepper. Salt.
Looks good.
And we just do them a toss and turn every now and again, just to get them going. Okay, so now we've got some yogurt.
Yes.
And mint sauce to make. So while that's going, all I've got is a few sprigs of mint here. Don't have to be too delicate with them, just break them up. Just a quick chop.
Smells good.
We just mix the mint through the yogurt. Just a bit of lemon juice, Gwen.
And salt and pepper? Or just...
I'd probably add just a little bit of pepper. I wouldn't really go on the salt. So with the trick with the vegetables, we don't really want to cook them to death. Okay, the garlic over the top. And across. Thing with garlic, you don't want to really cook it too much, because once it burns, it just goes that little bit bitter.
Yes.
It's not tasty anymore, so won't get all of them on. So basically just come across here. So as you can see, it looks quite nice. And if you wanted to, you could either serve it to the side, or you can just put it over the top and let everyone have a go. Very nice, very simple, very quick.
Lamb kofta with Mediterranean vegetables and mint yogurt sauce.
Beautiful.
That's our show for this month. Our thanks to the Buderim's Men's Shed, the Honeybees, and Andrew and Libby for being on the show.
The next episode of The Good Life will be available in the first week of December. So don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I'm Pete Gatwood.
And I'm Gwen Wilson. And we'll see you next time on The Good Life.